So, hello everyone. Again, now that we're officially on and recording. So grateful to be able to sit in ceremony. Very interesting times we're in, right? And it either has this flow or you feel like you're all dammed up. So we got this beautiful Aquarian moon to work with. We're in this time of the age of Aquarius. We have the water tiger here to help us with stepping out of that more industrial period that we've been in the last 2 years, and the more literal and the more technical, I guess, for lack of a better word, into this place of being in flow, being in movement, creating our own course is what I'm hearing Spirit say. How do we create our own course? How do we step into that place of movement? So as always, I feel honored and humbled to be able to bring ceremony to you and to be in service. I think tonight's ceremony is going to maybe be a little different, and just know that I know water ceremony is usually different, and we actually physically see ourselves making an offering into the bowl, and I could be saying this and then it turns around. But what I was kind of being guided to it before is to see the bowl tonight like when we do a pipe ceremony. That every thought and every prayer that you have and every release and every creating of a new beginning is all being placed into the water, the whole ceremony. And then, as always, will be released on the earth. I had an experience today that is not a judgment about the person I came in contact with, more so about, to me, if we really pay attention to the signs right now, the universe is really amped up and giving us signs everywhere. So to be as awake to what creator, what the elements, what the ancestors, like our ancestors of the land that we walk on, ancestors of the elements, right now are talking to us at all times. And so, and God, and just think about all the teachers that have left, like in the last year, and I believe part of why, what I'm guided, is that part of why they have left is because there's only so much they could do in form, and now their essence is expanded and eternal. Like, it's available to everyone and anyone that's open to receive. So how do we make ourselves, that vessel? How do we make ourselves open? So I had a feeling tonight during the journey, because this is what I was guided to do as I was opening up the directions and getting our space set and safe and held and nurtured, was to do cord cutting. Because what I was reading today about this the water tiger, the year of the water tiger, is that you don't want to also become a stream of water that's just running amok, like that has no direct, like we need to create also a strong boundary around us, to hold that body of water so that it can move and just disperse and lose all energy, because it has no guide, no direction. So we want to create strong boundaries first off, but we also want to make our water as clear as possible, our internal water. So a lot of interesting things have been happening since I'm working with my ancestor altar. And once I'm done more, maybe we'll do a class on it and do a thing where people can create their own. But I was in Barnes and Nobles today, and this is someone who was part of my life for a brief period of time, and it abruptly ended, and it was especially around ceremony. So this is my third run-in in a small period of time, and all in unexpected places, nowhere ceremonial or nowhere spiritual. So today I was in Barnes and Nobles picking up a gift for someone, and I got this really weird feeling that someone was to the left of me at the end of the aisle, and it was like where it was like an aisle where I was blocked, it like almost like cornered. And when I looked over, I mean, it was so apparent, but they weren't there yet. It was blank, and I was like, okay, I don't know what that's about. 2 seconds later, maybe it was like a minute later, this person goes by me, and I feel this energy like go through me. And I look over and I'm like, okay, here's that person again. And like, this is the third time. This is no coincidence. I really don't know if they saw me, but they pretended they didn't. And I think it happened the other times, and I just pretended I didn't, because I just was just like, there's nothing, there's just nothing left to be said. Send a, in my mind, would we send a prayer, hello. But this time I had an icky feeling, like a really weird feeling. And I sat with it, and I was just like, I could walk away. I said, but I'm not going to. I'm going to flood this situation with light. So I mustered all the light I can, turned around and just said, hey, hi, I thought that was you. And then had just a 2 or 3 minute dialogue. That's it. Just how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Blah, blah, blah. Walked away, and I felt good about it, because I felt more empowered. I had now set up a boundary, because I've avoided this situation. This is my third time now, right? But when I left, what I was heard very clearly, and this is what happens too when someone steps into a place of holding ceremony. Sometimes if you're not careful, you can make yourself available. And so it was very clear that there was a hook. There was a cord. And that's what Spirit kept trying to show me. Like, there's this cord that you're leaking energy that you need to clean up. Like and nothing bad on either end of either person. It's just an energy cord. Because when someone's courted you, it's not just them that is the issue. We are getting fed too. Like, there is an exchange, or it wouldn't be happening. So right before, I just went about my day, and I had a lot of things to do today, and I completed them. But when I was setting up, I was guided to cut cords. And there's a certain way that I do it that has morphed over the years from how I was taught, of how my guides taught me. So I believe we're going to go through that to get quiet and get clear of maybe places where we are leaking our energy when we're in that meditation, when we're in that stillness place, where we can maybe have an understanding of where there may be hooks, and it could even not be a person. It could be like a situation, like, one of our old stories, that we hold like armor, because, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. I've walked the path of the warrior. I've came out of hell. I don't want to keep saying that story anymore. I'll say that story when it's appropriate and needed, because I don't want to be attached to hell anymore. I don't want to be attached to that way of life anymore. Do I know if I could step into warrior mode and kick ass and take prisoners? Yeah. But why? I want to now be a peaceful luminous warrior. So how do I walk on this planet in a different way is how I work with the water within me. Is the water within me free of war, free of battle, free of the struggle? And so for me, this is all that I'm working on. So I'm just sharing with you what has been brought up in my life. And I hope it sits with you, because I really feel that the more that we can release the struggle, the more that we can release those stories, the more that we can release beliefs that are no longer in service to us, And I know we say that every month, but we really need to start hearing what really is not in service to us, like what really is not feeding us, because it's crunch time this year. I know I've been saying that the last couple of years, but I really feel like this year is, I know for me, it's very clear, spirits like, but then I go into the part of me that tries to block it, my ego, because it's so afraid, because if I let go of that much of who I believe I am, my ego doesn't know what its place is. It doesn't know if it even has a place, but our ego always has a place. So it's always good when you're working with big pieces is do that barter system with your ego, if it's as strong as mine is. I always had to barter with it and really let it know that it's not about killing it off. It's about creating a union, because we need those ego parts. We can't just walk around completely blissed out and because we walk in front of a train. You have to be, our personality is our personality, but do you want that to drive you? So what's the driving force? How do we do that? And I feel like that's a big part of tonight, because when I read the card that I pulled and the goddess that I pulled for us, they're all amazing cards. It's about its time, man. We've been doing our work. We have been, but part of it is we always think we always have to still be doing. Me and Lynn had this conversation. Still be doing, but it's time to start being. How do we be in stillness? How do we be in love? And mostly be in love with ourselves, because that's where it starts. And that's what I'm very much working on, which I know sounds like the opposite of being. But there are things that you need to release in order to really steep and sit in that place of love, to sit in that place of forgiveness, of compassion, and of love. So that's why on the altar today, the beautiful flame rose quartz that Gail had gifted me, to really have that place of unconditional love sitting on the altar, and the amethyst for that place of, for me, for the moon, is that Aquarian is so attached to the Aquarian age. And we have our Lemurian crystal, which is to me all about, how do we awaken those codes within us? We all have them in us. So those Lemurian codes that can really help and assist us of how do we walk in this world? How do we move in this world? How do we bring that medicine and those gifts through into this world? How do we walk with our medicine? So that's a crystal that's always, that Honey had gifted me a long time ago, and has since then sat on every single altar that we've had for ceremony. And then I have my little piece of celestite on the altar, which is my moon crystal. Water, we have our fire. Inside the water, in the ball, is magnify your purpose, so that we all are able to really sit and magnify our purpose. And then sometimes I don't like that word now, because for me, it makes me think I have to be doing something, or it makes me sit in judgment that I'm not doing something. So magnify our divinity, magnify our beauty, magnify our beautiful gifts. Because then that just is, right? There's no working towards it. You just know it already resides within you. So how do we shine a light on it? And that's mostly by getting in our heart, which I believe the bottom line is, I was taught this by Michelle eons ago. Almost 30 years now, that there's only fear and love. That's it. And that we're only here to be loved. So, and as simple as that sounds, is as complicated as our choices have made it, or our lessons here have created it to be. But the bottom line is how do we step into love? How do we be love in all we do? How is love all that we have to give? And that is so challenging right now in the division, but it's a challenge that I've taken on to be able to really be able to sit with other people and just be in that place of, and when my judgment comes up, own it, because it's mine. You know, where does it live in me? What is it tied to? What is it connected to? So bottom line, the spirits are saying we're in magnificent times. And the only reason it looks as tumultuous as it does is because we're on the precipice. Because light is shining so strong right now on this planet that nothing can lay in shadow. So that's the great news. So, and I have to, within my soul, believe in the 100th monkey syndrome, that once we hit that critical mass, that it's going to start to shift at a higher level. And that's where faith is absolutely, that's one thing. Yesterday, I was working on my ancestor altar with an ancestor I really didn't know, and that was my dad's dad. I mean, I met him, I was around him, but he spoke no English. He wasn't very vocal. He didn't talk to us. And it partly was probably because we couldn't have a dialogue because I was never taught Italian and he didn't know English. So, which I never really realized completely until I had a conversation with my mom today. I just thought he didn't speak it. Like, you know, his language was Italian, but he didn't understand English. So, but what I realized is, because this altar isn't about seeing what my ancestors did wrong. It's about praising and honoring them. And it was very hard to praise and honor a man I really didn't know. But he's who came forward. And when I sat and really worked with the pieces of what I held, of just feeling like kind of let down at the fact that he really was not a grandfather, like in actuality, in those ways, but was like, realized that he was so in service to the church. Now, I chose to step away from the church, but this was a man that was in service. He fixed everything at the church. He had a regular job, but then he was the handyman all the time at the church. So that's part of where my faith, he had such a strong faith. So one of his gifts he gave me without me even realizing or ever even communicating with him is that place of service, of being in service to his faith, into what he believes. And that's what I do with ceremony, is I make myself available to be in service in some way. And so really got to a whole new understanding of the beauty and the gifts that are held there. So if that makes sense. So I don't know why I wish to share that story with you guys. You know, it's one of them ones where spirit comes through. But I hope that you are, and this is a man that you have to understand, I had absolutely no relationship with him. But I do know, even though I couldn't understand that he wasn't like a real grandfather to me, I did have dinner at his house every Sunday. So to understand that in his way, that was his way of being a grandfather, that was his way of expressing love, was to open up his home, even if he didn't speak to us. And he would feed us, like he would have a meal with us. He would break bread with us every Sunday. So learning that even with his inability to communicate with us, family was still very important, which is how it was with my dad. And that's one of the biggest gifts I've received from my father, is that gift of what family is and what, even it's in its very dysfunctional state at certain times. But above and all, he was always about family. His favorite time was being with his grandchildren. His favorite time was being with us, just playing cards. Like, just very simple, basic. It wasn't, you know, we're not very affluent. So there wasn't a lot else, but we always had that quality time. So, and I guess you all do remember the stories. I did not have the best relationship with my dad all throughout it. It wasn't until later in life. So, so even in all the pain that was created in our relationship, there also was so much beauty. There were so many gifts, and there's so much for me to be grateful to him for. And that is the other thing I kept hearing today and everywhere is, how do we get into that place of compassion and gratitude? How do we, and even if you got to start with goofy little things to be grateful for. And I hate to even say that, because for some people they're big things, but that if I turn on my switch, I have electric. If I turn on my faucet, I have clean water. If I just woke up and my eyes open that morning, I have another day. I could be like, ugh, well, sometimes I do when I'm going to work, ugh, you know, but I still have a choice that day because I woke up. So I have the choice to either or put out that it's going to be different. Like, I have the power to create it to be something different. And yeah, and then I have a job. So Spirit just is saying all these things through me because it wants you to realize that you are in choice. That this year is really important to realize that you are creating your reality, nobody else. And I know for some people that can trigger you who have different types of like post-traumatic stress, because I know it triggers me sometimes when I hear that from Spirit, because I'm like, but my life. And I know it was hard. But everything happens for a reason. So I need to go back to understanding that it's like happening for me, not to me. And so that I can go back into a place of empowerment. Because we have right now with this energy coming through, it is so crisp and so refined, but so on. We need to be as clear as possible to channel it. We need to be as clear as possible to absorb it and work with it. Because it's going to hit anything that lays in shadow. It's going to hit any type of resistance, and it's going to magnify it. So how do we take a breath? How do we step with it? How do we work with it? And that is through forgiveness, love, compassion for ourselves, first and foremost. So, I don't know, that was a lot of talking. So I'll tell you who the goddess is before I open directions. And I'm going to ask her forgiveness to begin with because it's not a name I know. Arakura. That's called blossoming. And it says you are just getting started. So have patience with yourself and the process. And do not give up. So Grace can see it. You guys can see it. Sometimes it comes up clear, sometimes it doesn't. So that is her in that beautiful white cloak. So she'll be with us tonight. Alrighty, so we're going to get started. I'm going to open directions. Once again, I'm going to do it from seating. So if anyone is new to ceremony, I'm really not sure. This is me opening directions so that we can set the space, so that we can shift ourselves out of our 3D mind into our God brain, so that we can step out of that monkey mind and step into divinity, step into circular time where there's no beginning and no end, where there is healing, where all that is, and we're held and we're protected. And we call on all these elements of these different directions, and father and mother, so that they bring these organizing principles to us. They bring these gifts, they bring these awarenesses, these instincts. That was the other thing I was really looking at with the tiger, is that we're going to go from that place of mind into that place of instinct, into that, if we allow it, into that place of being able to drop the technology and be able to really sit with something. And how does it sit in your body? How does it feel in your senses? How does it, it was kind of even saying, everyone that does dating through technology, I mean, and I know COVID makes it a little hard, but to go out and instinctually meet someone, like that attraction, that feeling, that connection, that we've lost so much of that. But the next 2 years are about that, about how do we make connections through our instincts, through being with someone. So something to think about. So the winds of the south, the Sachaman, the great serpent. Please wrap your coiled light around us. Help us shed our past the way you shed your skin in one clean swoop. Help us to stay out of that place of suffering and step into that place of impeccability. And thank you for any and all healing that will occur on the physical level. Oh. The winds of the west, Gautrango, Mother Jaguar. Thank you for coming and protecting our medicine space. Oh, thank you so much for teaching us how to go over that rainbow bridge, how to have 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the next. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you so much for teaching us how to be peaceful, luminous warriors, to help us learn how to walk on this planet yet not leave a footprint. And thank you for any and all healing that will occur on the emotional level. Oh. The winds of the north, the Sutta Kinte, great hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers and ancient ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this place of mythic and of magic and of imagery. Thank you for this place of stillness and flight. Thank you so much for teaching us how to be the eye in the center of the storm. And yet again, please continue to teach us how to drink directly from the sweet nectar of life, so that we no longer source from places that no longer feed us. Oh. The winds of the east, Great Eagle, Condor, Appuccine, you fly wing to wing with a great mystery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking us to the mountains that we only dare to dream of. Thank you for teaching us how to fly wingtip to wingtip with a great mystery. Oh, thank you so much. Help us to see with eagle vision. Help us to see the limitless possibilities available at all times, so that we once and for all step out of that place being fated and step into that place of our destiny. Oh. Mama, great mother, thank you for coming here for the healing of all your children. The two-legged, the four-legged, the creepy, the crawly, the fin, the fern, the winged. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being the true alchemist and taking that which longer slurs and bringing it back to us in the gifts of gold. Thank you so much for being that container. Thank you for teaching us how to ground. Thank you for this place of nurturing. Thank you for helping us learn how to grow deep roots. And thank you so much for being patient with us as a species and leaving us on your back yet another day. Oh. Mama Kia, Star Nation's Free Spirit, you are known by 1,000 names and you are unnameable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this place of ceremony. Thank you for the hearts and minds and souls of everyone in this circle. Please whisper in our ear and touch our hearts. Thank you for allowing me to be a hollow bone. Allow me to be an instrument for prayer. Help me to stay out of my way, to get out of the way, so that I may be a clear conduit. And I thank again all the ancestors that went before and sacrificed their lives so that we may make this prayer. Oh. Ooh. If you have any smudge or Palo Santo, and you smudge yourself off right now. Before I turn out the light, I'm going to read to you the card that I picked for tonight. And Grace will show you. That is a person on the back of a dove being taken up to the heavens. It says, reach for the stars. The message is clear. You're an instrument of divine creativity and are being called upon to live up to your true heritage. Your soul's purpose right now is to fully claim your unlimited potential by directing your thoughts and emotions solely towards your highest dreams. Your soul's lesson is to support your vision by stabilizing and strengthening your body with a healthy diet and regular exercise, and augment your mental faculties by taking command of your thoughts, focusing only on a positive creative outcome. Don't be swept away by the negative waves of despair that travel the planet. Separate yourself from the unconscious masses and energetically claim and express your divinity. Be brilliant and reach for the stars. This is the best way to serve your goals and help your fellow humans. And I will say that for me, that was up today because I was doing really good. And then I had a really hard time with all the despair thoughts of feeling defeated. And kind of very lost and feeling like it's a no-win situation. Which I can't say that I want to go back to. But the gift today was I became aware of it when it was happening. And I was able to try to work with shifting it and being, that's my old way of being, that's my old way of thinking. And it's not the way that I want to think anymore, if that makes sense. So. Alrighty. Kick the light off. So, and I'm a little dark there, it's a little weird, but maybe just put it on one.
Or do you want me to try for your light and see if that's enough?
Sure. I know. Oh, that's even brighter.
Is it?
I should try that one. I just feel kind of weird, but maybe I'm supposed to look like that. Okay, I'm supposed to look dark. There we go.
You want me to do that?
Yes, I am. Well, it's very interesting that I look like that because when I grabbed the bowl today, I was guided also, not only just because I didn't have any other ones. It was saying because it was black and it has gold flecks in it too. So that it was about going into that abyss, going into the unknown, going into the potential that lives within each of us. And how do we access that? So it's going to be interesting.
Don't be alarmed, anybody. If things start floating around. Yeah.
That's cool. Alrighty, so let's just take a moment, just There's a lot of talking, so just 3 cleansing breaths in, releasing breaths out. Feel anything that you need to release going into the body of water that's sitting on the altar. I encourage you to really let it go out of your cells, out of your organs. Any resistance. Any fear. Okay. So let us begin with our grounding. Let us see those roots like a tree growing either from your sits bone, your root chakra, or from your feet down into the earth. See them go down past the bedrock. Past all the beautiful layers of the mother. All the way down to her molten core. Feel that fiery, rich energy. That thick, rich, nutrient-filled, pulsing energy of the mother. A place of vitality and of life. And of grounding. And bring that energy up through your roots. Going up to your root chakra. Feel it awakening your root chakra. Filling that cavern with this place of passion and vitality. And up to your sacral, to your second chakra, and feel it filling that cavern. And up to your solar plexus, your chakra of your personal power. Feel it awakening, feel it clearing that space. Coming up to your heart. And feel it filling that cavern with this place of the divine feminine, with this place of unconditional love. And coming up to your throat, clearing that cavern. And going up to your third eye, and clearing that space. And then going up to your crown. And take a moment and notice how you feel different being at one with the divine, being at one with the mother. And then from the crown of your head, see a coil of light going up into the Apus, to the heavens, to Untitled, to Father, Son. That place of the divine masculine, that place of this potent energy, this place of right action, this place of creating safety for the feminine. And feel that energy come down through that coiled light, in through the top of your head. Going into your crown, then into your third eye. And see it starting to create this sacred dance with the feminine. This beautiful tango of sorts. And come down to your throat. And feel it creating this almost vortex of energy that's clearing out your throat chakra. Feel it helping so that you will speak differently about yourself, that you will speak differently to yourself. And then coming down to your heart, and see that beautiful dance. See that beautiful melding. Feel that place of deep, deep love that is held within the divine masculine and feminine being in union. This place of absolute creation. Coming down into your solar plexus. Down to your sacral. That place of your gut instinct, that place where the wooded tiger will reside in your body. See him sitting there in his place of power, giving you and helping you awaken greater instinct, greater awareness from a place of empowerment, not disempowerment. And look into his eyes and see he is so happy you have invited him. He is so happy to be part of your journey. And then go down to your root chakra. And feel that anchoring in of the masculine and the feminine. This beautiful melding. This alchemical container through which all creation is possible. And once again, take note to how you feel different. And you can do this exercise every day. I would encourage you to do this every day. So that you can be a living conduit between heaven and earth. So that you can bring these beautiful gifts of the mother and the father into all that you touch, into every space you encounter. And from this place, begin to call in any ancestors, ancient ones, guides. We've already called in the one goddess, any other goddesses, any other ancient ones, any other ancestors, any descendants that are here to be with you, any power animals. Call them in to be with you, to help be your guides, to help you on this journey, to help you with awareness, to conspire on your behalf to be able to see more clearly. And above all, Spirit right now wants you to know You are loved more than you could ever imagine. And breathe that in. Feel that ignite every cell in your body. Feel it beginning to awaken your divinity even that much brighter. There's no limit. I can feel it. Beautiful work, guys. Just keep bringing it up. Keep it illuminating within you. Literally feel yourself held by the mother and the father. Being caressed. Taking some time to build up some strength. It can get tiring these days. So breathe in that relaxation. Breathe in that restoration. So we'll begin our journey where we will go to a sacred meadow, stream, ocean, a place in nature where you've been that you feel safe by a body of water. Start to make your way to the center of our circle. And there is a doorway or a gateway. And go through the veil to this sacred place. This place that is held in nature. See how everything in it is magical. Everything in it has, you can actually see the energy around it. And at this time, I am going to call in Archangel Michael to work with each one of us. And actually, Isis has come to be with him. I'm going to drum for a little and let you go on a journey. To go into journey and ask to be shown what cords, what cords have you bound right now where it doesn't put you in a place of empowerment? It could be a person, a situation, a thing. But what right now, in this moment, is standing in the way of your divinity? What has you held in a way that is not of your highest good? What have you been feeding for far too long? And hopefully something that you're completely unaware of. Call on your guides. Call on our goddess that we have with us tonight. Call on your ancient ones. Call on Michael or Isis. And I'll give you a minute or two to go on a journey to see what comes up. So we'll begin with the cord cutting. And if nothing came up, I ask you to ask the Great Mystery, Takashala, Great Spirit, to put something in front of you. Maybe you're not meant to see it. So from this place, as you see yourself, see the person, place, or situation in front of you. And feel Archangel Michael to the right of you and Isis to the left of you. And feel where you're corded from you and from the person, place, or situation. Is it in your heart? Is it in your belly? Is it in your root? Is it in your head? Where's that cord? How thick is it? How old is it? This could be a cord to someone or something you were completely unaware of because it was lifetimes ago. And ask Archangel Michael assistance and see him have this beautiful saber of white light coming out of his hand. And ask him with his assistance in being able to cut it. If it's old, like mine appears to be, it may take a couple times. And for me right now, I'm having to say, I forgive you. I ask to be forgiven. And I'm ready to release this energy. And feel how that starts to shift. It even begins to start shifting on its own. Woo! And the cord has been cut. Now, before we move forward to that person, situation, or thing that's across from you, wherever that cord of light was connected to them, ask their soul or ask Michael or Isis, what color energy do they need to heal or to close up that opening so that they can be fed, so that they can be nurtured? It's like hungry, it's like feeding those hungry ghosts. What color, what vibration, what energy do you need to send? And then place your hands out and see that filling, that cavern that was once a part of the person, place, or thing. Filling it up so that it is not available anymore. It is not open, that it got everything that it needed. and sending it off with light and love, compassion and forgiveness. And now turn your attention to where it was connected to you. And ask your higher self, your ancient ones, your guides, Isis or Michael, what color energy do you need? What vibration of energy needs to come in to close up that opening? To be able to feed you with what you were being fed in a more healthy way, in a more whole way. What is that color? And just see it starting to spiral and fill up that space. Until you're no longer available. Mm. And I'm going to drum for just a couple more minutes in case you had more than one thing come up, so that you can do this again with anything else that came up for you. The same exact way of seeing the cord, of Michael helping you cut it, of you sending off with love and release and honoring that person, place, or thing, giving them the gift of filling them up with what they need so that they can feel whole again, and then giving that gift to yourself. start to finish off any reading, come back and do it many times. And knowing all that healing, all those prayers, all that release has been put into the water on the altar. For me, the second piece that I did actually wasn't a person or place, it was a thought form or an energy that has held me, and that is terror. So just to give you an idea of something you can work on at another time. See how you feel different. See how the luminous threads within you, your luminous body feels different. Now that it has been more filled with light rather than having these holes, these cords draining it. And Michael, see him look at you and acknowledge the beautiful work that you did. And Isis also. And look at them and thank them. Thank them for being in service. Thank them for showing up. Thank them for being your silent, sacred witness. And feel that love well up in your body. And now let us make our way to the body of water. Feel the energy of this amazing Aquarius moon. Feel the presence of the Aquarian, the water tiger with you. And with a leap of faith, dive into that body of water. Feel yourself being cleansed and purified. Being witnessed by this beautiful moon. And as you swim or float, pull in this beautiful gift of divinity that is you. Call in all those new beginnings that you are ready to embrace. See yourself creating clear boundaries of what you will and will not allow in your life anymore from a conscious choice, from a place of empowerment. You are the creator of your life. You are the architect. Feel yourself free, movement, not stagnant. With purpose and direction. Feel the water awakening those aspects within you. Awakening those gifts that live within you. Feel your beauty. Feel the love. And as our goddess said, the gift that is you. Start to make your way back to the edge of the bank or to the shore or to the stones or pebbles or to the mossy grass. And take a moment to allow them, as our soul card indicated, and look up to the stars, which are all visible in this new moon, in this black abyss. And just drink in their energy. Accept the gifts and the downloads that the stars have to share with you. I'll give you a minute more to sit with that. Feeling that energy cascading down and awakening your cells, your organs, your systems, your senses. You are magic. You are a gift from God. You are a magnificent creator. Thanking the stars, thanking the waters, thanking your guides, your ancient ones, your power animals, goddesses, this space, this magnificent, beautiful, sacred place that has held you. Deep gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Share it with everyone. Everything that was in there, everything that shared their beauty and their joy. Ask for a word or a feeling or a gift that you've been received or you've awakened, should I say, within yourself, that you now have owned. It's always been there, but now you own it. It is you. And let's start making our way back to the room, back to your space. Back to your body. Before you completely open up your eyes, I really would like you to take note. How you feel different. Spirit is telling me that the gift from the stars and the gifts from the water and the gifts from that release, you have now just upgraded your DNA. You've awakened new aspects of yourself. If you choose. If you choose to continue to walk down this path, you can always go back. But it's your choice. You've awakened new parts of yourself that have been laying dormant. Sit with them each day. Take the time to ground in. Take the time to be in nature. Take the time to see what the universe is sharing with you. These are magnificent times, and we are magnificent people. So just acknowledge it. Just feel it. Really embrace it. Feel it in your body. If you have a crystal or a stone around you, you can blow it in there. And just take a couple moments. Don't try to rush back. Really take a moment, wiggle your toes. Make sure you're in your body. Tap yourself. Really come back fully. Sure. It wasn't so bad. Where are you going? So I pulled our card to kind of sum up. If I can find it. Grace can show you it. It's called Leap.
Leap. L-E-A-P.
Yep, L-E-A-P. So close your eyes and just really drink it in. This is a beautiful card. Life bends for the, it says you go first, the universe will catch you. Life bends for the courageous. The universe wants to support you, but first you need to leap. To throw your life up in the air. Perhaps you know what you're being called to leap toward or away from, but are scared to make the move. Or maybe perhaps you are waiting for a big fat sign or an instruction manual, or permission to do so first. If this is you, then this card is your sign and permission slip to take a deep breath and leap into the unknown. It's scary to let go of all that we have and hope for something new. And it's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure. But this is the unavoidable process of rising. And right now, this is how you are being called to live. Nature is constantly showing us how to live with courage. Fall comes every year and encourages the trees to loosen their grip, to allow what was once so full of life to fall away, leaf by leaf. For a moment, it feels like nothing will grow again. The branches are left bare without the comfort of what was once. But in the morn of spring, new shoots begin to sprout and appear, and something new is born that is even more glorious than before. And that brings us to our card, the blossoming. And then that's when we will blossom. So I'm going to say really great work. That was a very powerful journey. It's a very powerful awakening and a download. Came in kind of gentle, but I just want you to know that is pretty big. So be easy with yourself, be gentle with yourself, drink plenty of water, be mindful of your dreams I'm hearing, do some journaling. But more importantly, know that these tools that you were given tonight weren't just for the ceremony, life ceremony, right? Every day can be ceremony. Take the time to connect in, even if just with the mother and the father every day. Helping you and guiding you in how to be a conduit, how to bring in that energy, the divine feminine, the masculine, definitely will help set your day up in a different way. But and to work with those gifts, I hope you enjoyed that different way of doing the cord cutting, because and then that way you're feeding both of you. You're filling up what each was trying to gain through that cord. And that's so powerful, because then all your energy is available for you. You are not available for someone else anymore. So I love that way of doing cord cutting. I mean, I was taught different ways, and then spirit had just morphed it into that, and that just always felt right, because it was being and honoring to that other soul and to me that was how to do it in a good way. To drink plenty of water, do the salt, the sea salt and baking soda baths, just to keep cleansing and everything that's coming up to be released. But most importantly, just every day tap into your divinity. Every day remember that you're loved. Every day that your thoughts go back to less than, all those things, whatever they are. Come back to this moment, come back to this ceremony, come back, remember the energy, remember those colors. It's all about reprogramming. It's about creating new habits. Most of our life is born out of habit. But in 28 days, you can shift the habit. Like, you can create a different habit. So challenge yourself for the next 28 days to be the energy that you saw. But as always, I just want to say, I'm very happy that you answered the call for tonight. And I'm very in all of the courage it takes to do that and the courage it takes to make a change. So I thank all you courageous dreamers, because as you dream a different world for your different life for yourself, you're dreaming in a new world. That's how we dream in the new world, is as we do our own world. It creates a shift. So thank you. Thank you for your service. As always, just so grateful to the universe for allowing this time. So I'm going to close directions and then stop the recording. And then anyone that wants to share anything that they had will do that without the recording on. So I'm going to close the directions and then we will, we can close a little talk. The winds of the south, Sachamama, great serpent. Thank you for wrapping your recoil of light around us. Thank you for helping us shed our past the way you shed your skin in one clean swoop. Help us, please help us to stay out of that place of suffering. Thank you for this place of the beauty way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for any and all healing that has occurred on the physical level. Oh. The winds of the west, Rantaranga, Mother Jaguar, thank you for coming and protecting our medicine space. Thank you for teaching us how to go over that rainbow bridge, how to have one foot in this world and one foot in the next. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I thank you so much for teaching us this place to live fearlessly. And thank you for teaching us how to be peaceful, luminous warriors so that we can learn how to walk on this planet and not leave a footprint. And thank you for any and all healing that will occur on the physical level. I mean, on the emotional level. Oh. The winds of the north, the cedar kente, great hummingbird. Grandmothers and grandfathers and ancient ones, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this place of the mythic and of magic and of imagery. Thank you for this place of stillness and light. Thank you for teaching us how to be the eye in the center of the storm. Oh, thank you so much. I thank you for, more importantly, continue to teach us how to drink directly from that sweet nectar of life so that we no longer source from places that no longer feed us. Oh. For the winds of the east, great eagle, condor, Apuchin, you fly wing to wing with the great mystery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking us in the mountains that we only dare to dream of. Thank you for teaching us how to fly wingtip to wingtip with the great mystery. And more importantly, continue to help us to see with the eagle vision. Help us to see the limitless possibilities available at all time. So we once and for all step out of that place of being fated and step into that place of our destiny. Oh. Pachamama, great mother. Thank you for coming here for the healing of all your children, the two-legged, the four-legged, the creepy, the crawly, the fin, the fern, the winged. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being the true alchemist, taking that which no longer serves, bring it back to us, the gifts of gold. I thank you so much. I thank you for teaching us about this place of the divine feminine, this place of nurturing and of grounding and of fierce, unconditional love. Thank you so much for being this grounding force. And thank you so much for giving us everything that we need to sustain on this planet. Oh. Inti Tai Tai, Mama Kia, Star Nation's great spirit, you are known by 1,000 names and you're unnameable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the hearts and minds and souls of everyone in this circle. Continue to whisper in our ear and touch our hearts. Continue to help us to work these beautiful gifts, to work our beauty, to be able to step into our magnificence and bring it forward in all we do. Help us, help us, help us. And once again, I thank you for allowing me to be a hollow bone and for this opportunity to be of service. And I thank you yet again to all the ancestors that went before and sacrificed their lives so that we may make this prayer. Oh, thank you. And have a great night.